All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I got a story that I ran across. It says Chicago residents upset because resources are going towards migrants as more Texas buses arrive. Now, as a Chicagoan myself, this is something that I can relate to as I see it every day. Um, I'm seeing how the numbers have increased this year. Seeing how certain neighborhoods, you know, you know, they took the schools away from us. Then all of a sudden, when the migrants showed up, now these buildings could be used. They were, talking about knocking schools down. They put the migrants in them, like Woodline, Hyde Park, uh, you know, places where have been normally, pretty decent areas to live at. Um, but this is something that's just going on far too long. And I'm gonna read this little story here, from the Washington Examiner here that I found here. Okay. It says Chicago residents are growing increasingly wary of the dedication of resources to migrants, particularly as the city is set to receive a new wave of immigrants from the southern border on Wednesday. All right, this video is being recorded Wednesday, September the 6th. So the new migrants is coming in today. Mayor Brandon Johnson said Tuesday that 4 buses from Texas carrying asylum seekers will arrive in the Windy City on Wednesday. He accused Governor Greg Abbott, Republican of Texas, of using immigrants as political tools, particularly as Chicago prepares to host the Democratic National Convention in 2024. That's some BS right there. Brandon, you need to cut it out because he miraculously came up with $51 million for some migrants in May. As a lifelong resident, the city has never even came up with $5 million to help anything in the Black community, West Side or South Side, or let alone the Southwest Side or on the East Side. They've done nothing. But since the migrants come, all of a sudden you got all this money. So how do you think it's making people feel when you already been taking the houses, taking the jobs from us, purposely trying to devalue areas for gentrification, sort of like what they did with Woodline, where they put the bus load at a couple of months ago that upset a lot of people. You have houses over there worth $400,000 now. Easily, any three flat over there is 350 if it's rehab. Easily, they got $700,000 properties they building. A lot of the University of Chicago professors own a lot of the property in that area. If you Google it on the map, it's off 63rd and Maryland. I'm sorry, 66th and Minerva. You'll see that the University of Chicago is a half a mile down the street. And you know how big the University of Chicago is. So I'll carry on here. This is a direct response from governors, particularly in these red states that are really trying to call attention to our values, Johnson said. He's being political again right here, adding that at least 150 buses of migrants have arrived in the city since the announcement of the convention. So, you're trying to say that many people came here? How many is on each bus? 150 buses. And that right there is crazy. But like they said, these people's living at police stations. They like everywhere. But all of a sudden they came up with 51 city locations for these people. But the homeless people have been out here for years. I know the same homeless people. I've been driving through all over the city that's in the same places. But what they did do, they rushed them off the street when it was time for the different summertime events, NASCAR, this, that, and the third. They'll move the homeless out. I don't know where they put them, but they handling everything for these people. But I'll continue on. Since August 31st, 2022, okay, a year ago, 13,500 immigrants have arrived in Chicago. Their arrival has forced the city to erect shelters and coordinate with state and local governments and law enforcement to provide significant resources. A move that is upsetting native Chicagoans, yes, it is, who either are growing tired of housing immigrants or wish financial and physical resources will go towards city issues such as homelessness and boosting Black communities. Exactly. Exactly. And this is something that we standing on here in Chicago. We are standing on this. They bringing people from straight other countries. You can look at these people and tell that they're not, American and not from Mexico. Um, been around Mexican people, Puerto Rican people, Spanish people my whole life. Being around one of my best friends is Mexican. I've been around plenty of Mexicans, and I'm seeing these guys coming up here. They look like they straight from Guatemala, Venezuela. These cats is dark. Some of them is darker than me, easily. They're darker than me. And some I've seen in cars already with the drive out tags on them. I'm like, how in the hell? And you can see they look like Peruvians. No offense to these people, but you can tell when somebody is foreign compared to someone that's, from America, been around, any Spanish community in the United States. But these cats, I'm wondering how these cats has already got cars. Yeah, these not new cars, but still they got cars with drive out there. That means you got a driver's license. You ain't supposed to have no driver. How are they driving? And they 4, 5 deep. Man, I'd be at the gas station sometime and I see a carload come out in a little Toyota Corolla. I see like 4 immigrants come out that joker. All had black hoodies on. I'm something like, God damn, I gotta fill away at my certain gas station now. And then, over the months I've been talking to the other brothers and sisters I see at the gas station, especially at night, when they riding deep like that. I'm like, man, they don't even know where the hell they at. I ain't even gonna say the address, but man, they all over the city. But I'll continue on. The the arrival has forced the city to erect shelters and coordinate with state and local governments and law enforcement to provide significant resources. Keyword is significant resources. A move that is upsetting native Chicagoans who are either growing tired of the housing, the migrants, or wish they'll be going back to their houses, put that money in the hood where our tax dollars is paying for this. We don't even get street cleaning regularly. That's the truth. My home cameras can prove it. Last week, residents of Hyde Park, one of the nicest mixed neighborhoods in the city, lakefront neighborhood, protested a plan to house 300 immigrants at a nearby motel. It's called the East Lake Shore Motel, Lake Shore East, right on the lakefront, right on the beautiful water. You know how that damn lakefront is, all my Chicago people. That's exactly where they put them, at that Lake Shore Hotel. And I was wondering why it's closed, because you can actually get that spot at the Airbnb. It used to be on the Airbnb listing when I look up rooms for different people that was coming to town that wanted me to find an Airbnb that was closer to my home. So, but that's crazy how they gave them prime property too. Okay, so they're at the nearby hotel where to stay indefinite and expected to last through the fall and winter. That means the lakefront finna get tight. I mean, everybody that's over there at the point, Promontory Point, man, them people finna be all in the park over there. We used to just chill out all over the park, you know, um, playing soccer and shit. All like, I mean, they can enjoy themselves, no problem. But yeah, it's finna change over there because I seen there's some local high schools, and it's crazy that any of my Chicagoans, y'all can attest to this. Back in the day, you'd be able to play strikeouts or whatever at the school. They shut that down 20, 30 years ago. But now all of a sudden, you'll see the migrants right there on the racetrack, right there in the middle of the racetrack playing soccer and doing stuff at the high school sports grounds where the local people can't even go. They can't even go. I guarantee you, anybody in Chicago, any area where the migrants at, go to where the high school at, and you're gonna see that they're gonna be at the high school where that track or that football field on playing on it, and we can't even do it. You go over there if you're a local and go try to go on that, you trespassing. Police will hit you with a trespassing, but I don't understand how the rules change like that. But I do understand how, because they're foreigners, they don't fall underneath these rules, but they do fall on these rules. They still got to treat them, on a different level because, they're not U.S. citizens. They treat us like shit because we're U.S. citizens. But by them being foreigners, they got to treat them with a different level, a higher level. That's just something y'all got to read in y'all books and do the research, and y'all will understand that part. But a lot of the people over there in Hyde Park were upset because many argued they were not informed of the plan until the last minute, while others expressed concerns that the immigrants' arrival could be a public safety safety issue, which I just mentioned is going to become a public safety issue, especially how they be rolling. There's some cool ones. I'm not gonna say them, but there's a lot of them you know for sure that they gang members and they robbers and thieves and hoes, the prostitutes. It's easy to see them, and you see them all through the hood, from the lakefront all the way as far over as California, Western, over that way. Yes, all through the. I see them all through the, say, Chinatown, all the way to Roseland, and you're gonna see them out there. And you know, you can look at tattoos. We can read tattoos. So yeah, it's gonna be a case where some people gonna bump heads because certain ones and Inglewood, I'm hearing these damn immigrants starting little immigrant gangs, and they already done strapped up. They done already got little trades going. They actually pimping the other immigrants, you know. So yeah, it could become a safety issue. You know, one woman said, "I don't want them here. Take them someplace else or send them back to Venezuela. I don't care where they go." She said Venezuela for a reason. Like I said, these are dark skinned. These cats look like them people that you see in the forest. Say they be over and deep in the jungles and be like, okay, you ain't supposed to mess with them people because they still ain't. Man, these cats was looking that dark. So I'm like, oh man, they definitely Peruvians or something. Uh, Other people blast the city leaders for neglecting marginalized communities, but opening door for immigrants. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know, all these politicians have neglected us, but the problem is most of these I say these African Americans here, you know, they just blindly vote Democratic. They just think anybody say they're Democrat, anybody they supposed to believe and trust and follow them. Brandon ain't gonna do nothing for the city. I said that day one, and I got more videos of things to break down the show on that. I just haven't gotten around to updating it, but I decided to jump into these because I got a few haters out there don't think that you guys out there on YouTube support me. So actually while I mentioned that take a minute and like, share, subscribe, you know, help me out in this algorithm, help me get these subscribers up to show these haters that I can do this. You know, but these different politicians haven't done anything. Jesse hasn't done nothing for the people. Everybody running off the Jesse Jackson thing. They so stuck on Martin Luther King and Braziers and all the people that was hanging with these people, King and them 50 years ago. So then you look at Jesse Jackson, 30 years, he ain't done nothing. Then you look at the new one, you got even Barack was your president. He showed you what he felt about Chicago. He done nothing. Just look at what happened around his neighborhood. Anybody just go to Barack's house where he lived at. Yeah, the feds gonna still be sitting out there. They gotta protect that whole block. But just look at the neighborhood around. Go 4, 5 blocks in each direction around his house. Matter of fact, go half a mile. You'll see. Barack could have had all that cleaned up. But I tell you this, I bet you don't go around where Bush and them from, and they town, they area, and they live in they community is had no advancement at all. Straight regression. So I'm just saying a lot of people in these communities blindly vote when for these people that's gonna be talking all this sanctuary and welfare states, but they got no sanctuary for you. Never had no sanctuary for you and been showing you that. Busting your head, shooting you down and justifying it, locking you up, petty ticketing you. Then you got the whole race soldiers that jump out on people for no reason. Yeah, they do that stuff here in Chicago. So yeah, you got all that going on. So yeah, we want that addressed. Cut all that out. Invest in these neighborhoods. Stop letting these different railroads come in and buy out 2,000 homes and leave it vacant for 10 years. But you took those homes from some of those people for less than what they're worth. Norfolk Southern, Bobby Rush, that was y'all deal. And at the time, Alderman Cochran with that Inglewood Flyover project where they stole all those houses in Estella, they took them and they used the government to help them take it so they can put more you know, those trailers, put trailers around when they could have picked anywhere. You got all those train tracks stretching across the country. You mean tell me you couldn't find no little town, no other area that was off the tracks or close to a road access to a highway that you couldn't set all that up that wouldn't disturb no communities? But that's the type of stuff we're talking about. You take from us, but then you build a whole new community for someone else. So back to what we got going on here. They say you got 73% of the people homeless in the city that are black. What have you done for them? That's what this lady said, and I got some video of her. Um, this sister spitting it like it is. You know, Chicago has reported that currently 6,500 immigrants are staying at the 16 city-run shelters, 16 of them, according to CBS Chicago. Johnson said Tuesday that there are now 18 shelters. So now you done all of a sudden came up with enough money to build 2 more shelters to house a couple more thousand. The city's goal is to get immigrants out of the police stations with overflowing lobbies. All right, let's go to the statement again. The city's goal is to get the immigrants out of the police stations with overflowing lobbies. That's all they worried about. They ain't worried about nothing else. So all the people thinking, come do this for the neighborhood, man, this man is gonna throw y'all some chicken and watermelon. He gonna say some Halloween party stuff or whatever, and one of you guys gonna say, "Oh, his haircut look nice. Oh, he can wear a suit." It's just how silly you sounded when you talked about Obama in a tan suit. That was the silliest and stupidest thing. I was embarrassed for black folks for saying that mess. Why that man screwed you over. Then you have the Fraternal Order of Police members that criticize the Johnson administration for for the number of people staying in police stations. Wow. And that's another thing. You hear what he said, and that's President John Catanzaro. They let these people stay in a police station. When they let any homeless person stay in a police station, even when it's 20 below, 30 below, and it's get cold in Chicago in the winter. Stand up, Chicago. Somebody from Chicago tell me if of any incident where people were staying in a police station. Because before the migrants came, I drive by a lot of police stations, a lot of them in my area, and I never seen it. I never seen them inside. Man, you get your head busted, boop, 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 and body camera was never on. Stand up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, they treating these jokers here like royalty. Once again, in May, the Chicago City Council announced that 51 million in financial aid. Wow. See how they worded it? Financial aid from the budget surplus. The budget surplus. So y'all been had money y'all could address different issues in the neighborhoods. Will go towards addressing the influx of immigrants bust from Texas, receiving heavy backlash from Republicans. Exactly. I'm with the Republicans 100% on this. No, no way. First of all, you should stop them like you're doing the Haitians and the Africans and Nigerians. You're stopping them at the border and sending them back. The Sudanese. Y'all just need to Google this stuff. It's according to how political and the skin color thing going on. Yeah, for some of this is because man, the way you doing the Haitians, but you letting these jokers come over and they coming from just as far. Springfield had approved over 42 million in immigrant aid for the entire state in its new budget, leaving fewer amounts for Chicago and prompting the city to allocate its own funds. That's to show that they don't even really give a damn. And that's even with your boy Pritzker. Oh man, he got to go too. He another clown. He's another one just destroying the state. But they talk all this sanctuary, so they can break the laws when it's good for them, but you can't break no laws. That's all the sanctuary states say because illegal, this word is legal for a reason. Illegal immigrant. Johnson said on Tuesday that he will be rolling out a stronger presentation on a humanitarian endeavor later this week. Are you serious? Get him out of there. One term, just like Lightfoot. This time, boy, I'll tell you this time, Chicago gets some Republican leadership, and I'm not even with them like that. But I ain't seen no Democrat do nothing. They just making the stupidest moves left and right. And this is what y'all call politicians. Wow. Johnson said on Tuesday that he will be rolling out a stronger presentation. I mean, he gonna come with some more money. He gonna try to tax the shit out of us to pay for it, like we already taking our money to pay for it. on a humanitarian endeavor. He called it humanitarian endeavor later this week. So they trying to use the same words they use on that national level, like when they was dealing with that Ukraine issue and the words NATO and them use when they're talking national. See whoever it is that he got a good publicist that's doing his writing, you know, because stronger presentation, humanitarian endeavor later this week. Man, you're doing too much. Look, we have a lot of work to do, the mayor said, adding that he sees the influx of immigrants into Chicago as an opportunity. He acknowledged growing tensions in Chicago community, saying, we also have to be very clear that for a long time we ignored what has been the norm in this city of the displacement and the disruption of Black existence. That's what I was saying. But once again, he's saying, he's acknowledging. That's it. That's all they do is acknowledge stuff. They'll say it just like Kamala Harris. She ain't nothing but good as a acknowledger. Come on, y'all need to stop looking at skin color and look at real leadership. It ain't a real leader. At the end of the day, what's good for one supposed to be good for all. So if this is the case, no wonder everybody robbing all the stores. It ain't illegal. Shit, we can break the rules if y'all can break the rules. I'm just saying that ain't cool to be doing none of that mess. I can't stand a thief. I don't like that mess that's going on. But at the end of the day, like, I couldn't think of another example right off the top of my head. But this mess here, breaking the law for a certain group of people, when it fits you, this mess has to stop. This mess here has to stop. So I just want to end this video right here. That's a little article. I found it interesting. And I really thought it was very interesting what he said at the end, how he's going to be rolling out this stronger presentation, calling this a humanitarian endeavor. But then in the next sentence, he flips and says, we also have to be very clear for a long time we've ignored what's been the norm in the city of the displacement disruption of Black existence, which means how they're tearing down, devaluating different Black communities and allowing a lot of violence to manifest. Because a lot of these cats is doing is the same ones running up to the goddamn detective cars, acting buddy with them. They be knowing some of them, they knowing some got to be going on. Because this mess ain't never been as wild as it is, but it's always against the people they know. So if you ain't doing no BS, you ain't got to worry about the BS. But once again, I want to thank y'all for listening. I want y'all to join me on this journey as I start dropping this content, giving my reaction, my advice, my point of view on a lot of different topics, different videos, things I see interesting, sports, I do it all. But I've been a media guy, and it's just a lot of things that I think is very interesting. I want to share to the people. Like, share, subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Thank you.